Today is Friday, November 15th. We'll tell you why President-elect Trump's choice for Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is such a controversial pick, and why there are now calls from both parties to see an ethics report about Trump's choice for Attorney General. Also, what new research found about Americans' trust in scientists. Plus, it's not a joke, The Onion is buying Infowars. What to know about the highly anticipated boxing match happening tonight, and some unexpected songs released, one from Mark Zuckerberg, the other from Moo Deng. Those stories and even more news to know coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. President-elect Donald Trump is shaking up Washington again with one of his latest cabinet picks. He chose Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And this one has upset some public health experts. And that's because Kennedy is skeptical of a lot of mainstream health recommendations, like vaccines and fluoride in water. He's promised sweeping changes to food and drug regulation and government-funded scientific research. If Kennedy is confirmed by the Senate, he actually would have the power to overhaul much of the federal government. The Department of Health and Human Services oversees 11 agencies, including the FDA, CDC, and almost 25% of the federal budget. He still needs to be confirmed by the Senate, though, and that could be tough, since there are a lot of public health allies that worry about his views and his lack of experience in national health care. His background is actually in environmental law. On the other side, Kennedy also has some strong backers who have pointed out that he's promised to tackle chronic disease, champion healthy foods, and more. At this point, Kennedy has not said he plans to totally take away things like vaccines, just that he wants more public safety data. As you know, RFK Jr. ran for president this year before dropping out in August and endorsing Trump, even though he's the son and nephew of two huge figures in the Democratic Party. His family members have distanced themselves from him politically, saying he has betrayed his dad's values. By the way, RFK Jr. has faced a lot of health challenges himself. He's spoken in recent years about a worm or parasite that entered his brain. Kennedy also has dealt with mercury poisoning, an irregular heartbeat, a neurological disorder that causes him to have a raspy voice, and more. But he says any real issues have been resolved and that he's fit for the job. Fallout is growing over another one of President-elect Trump's choices, Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Now, many lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say they want to see what came out of a congressional ethics investigation before even considering the nomination. Remember, Gaetz was investigated over allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and more. Gaetz has always said he did nothing wrong, but the investigation has still been going on for 3 years. And several news outlets say the Ethics Committee was actually ready to release its report today. But since Gaetz was named as the Attorney General nominee, he resigned from Congress and the investigation ended. And that means, for now, no report, which isn't sitting well with many lawmakers. So this could set up a clash between Congress and President-elect Trump even before his administration begins. Not every one of Trump's cabinet picks has sparked the same level of backlash, though. Just yesterday, the president-elect announced North Dakota's Governor Doug Burgum as his choice to lead the Interior Department that manages U.S. lands and natural resources. Burgum is known for his long-standing ties to fossil fuel companies, and at the Interior, he's expected to open federal lands and waters to oil and gas drilling. Separately, Trump tapped 3 of his personal lawyers from his criminal trials to top jobs in the Justice Department. Along with Matt Gaetz, Trump says they'll help to fix what he called a broken system of justice. The president-elect also promised a big announcement later today, so stay tuned. When you first hear a news story involving The Onion, you can usually assume it's a joke. But this one is not. The satirical news outlet is buying Alex Jones's conspiracy website, Infowars. You know, where the far-right media hosts claim the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012 was a government hoax? Well, at a bankruptcy auction, The Onion teamed up with the victims' families to take it over. And now The Onion says it hopes the families are able to marvel at the cosmic joke it'll make out of the site. The new version of Infowars will reportedly feature the largest gun control advocacy group in the country, Everytown for Gun Safety, as the exclusive sponsor. Now, this all stems from the victims' families suing Jones over his false claims and winning judgments that totaled almost $1.5 billion. That forced Jones to file for bankruptcy, leading to this sale. Jones plans to fight the sale in court, and a judge still has to finalize it. The Pentagon's latest report on UFOs found nearly 24 reported unidentified objects that need more investigating. In other words, they couldn't be explained. That said, the majority of the hundreds of reports received last year were either found to be just describing things like misidentified balloons, birds, or satellites, or they didn't have enough data to look into them more. At this point, none of them, even those that they're still investigating, are said to have any evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology. So the Pentagon's report came one day after House lawmakers called for more government transparency during a hearing on this issue. In 2022, officials at the Pentagon created the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, to track reports of UFOs, mostly for potential threats to national security or air safety. By the way, if you hear them referred to UAPs, not UFOs, that's what the government calls them now. UAP stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. All right, we have more news for you still ahead, but first, thanks to our sponsor. Even when we do everything we can to take care of ourselves, sometimes we need a little extra support to keep us healthy or help us recover. We all deserve a team of experts who care, and when it comes to our health, there is no compromise. So don't go back to that doctor who makes you feel bad or uncomfortable. Instead, check out ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. I check ZocDoc anytime I'm looking for a new doctor to support my most valuable asset, my health. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Now back to the news. New research shows Americans' trust in scientists is up for the first time since the start of the pandemic. The Pew Research Center found about 76% of Americans say they have confidence that scientists act in the public's best interest. It's a slight but still notable improvement from last year. The uptick is said to be driven largely by an increase in trust among Republicans, who saw the biggest drop in trust during the pandemic. And to be clear, even with this latest boost, trust levels in scientists is actually still lower than before COVID-19. And Americans are still divided over whether scientists should play a role in policy decisions. About half of those surveyed said experts should take an active role in policy debates, while the other half argued they should instead just focus on establishing scientific facts. It's a point that feels especially relevant right now with Trump's pick of RFK Jr., a lawyer, not a scientist or doctor, to lead the country's science and health agencies. Ford has agreed to pay $165 million for moving too slowly to issue a recall. It's the second highest penalty handed out in the history of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Ford also has to change its recall process by adding new technologies and analytics that help it find and address problems faster. And the car maker has to comply with an independent third party that will oversee its recalls for 3 years. The problem started in September of 2020, when Ford recalled several 100,000 vehicles with rear-view cameras that could fail, including on its best-selling line of F-Series pickup trucks. But the federal government found complaints and warranty claims for the problem from months earlier. By law, car makers have to notify the NHTSA within 5 working days of a safety defect. As part of the deal, though, Ford says it disagrees with the government's claims. A highly anticipated fight is happening tonight, pitting old-era boxing against social media stardom. One of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, Mike Tyson, will go up against YouTube personality and influencer-turned-boxer Jake Paul. Of course, it's not typical to see a 58-year-old retired champ fight a 27-year-old who's relatively new to the sport. And so, it's getting lots of attention. It's also marking a new era for Netflix, which will be streaming the fight globally and attempting more live sports programming. Though some people have raised concerns about Tyson's health. Not only is he nearing 60, but also Tyson postponed the original July fight date after an ulcer flare-up. The live event starts tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. Olympic gold medalist skier Lindsey Vonn is coming out of retirement. The 40-year-old said yesterday she's rejoining the U.S. ski team and hopes to compete in this year's World Cup. If Vonn performs well, she may even ski at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan. Vonn retired 5 years ago after her surgically repaired right knee could no longer handle the sport. But after getting a knee replacement earlier this year, Vonn says she's surprisingly pain-free and ready to compete again. Vonn is targeting races in December for her return to competition. Despite her having the second most World Cup race wins on record, she says she knows a full comeback will be a challenge. Everyone's favorite pygmy hippo has a new single out. We're talking about Moo Deng, that viral baby animal from Thailand we told you about a couple of months ago when she became a global phenomenon. This week, her official song was released in 4 languages, along with a music video. It was written by a well-known Thai composer and released by one of Thailand's largest music companies. The video features Moo Deng bouncing, playing with her keeper, and hanging out with her mother. If you want to check it out, we included a link in today's episode notes on our website. Or if you'd rather, how about a remix of the rap hit Get Low as performed by Meta owner Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah, the tech billionaire worked with rapper T-Pain on a slowed-down version of the song, so you can hear him singing from the windows to the walls, followed by some of the other more explicit lyrics. Together, they call themselves Z-Pain, and we might hear more from them soon. After T-Pain thanked Zuckerberg on Instagram, Zuck replied, "Loved working with you on this. Looking forward to more shenanigans." Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel-good or positive news story before the weekend. But first, a quick break. Are you ready to better understand your unique body and how it works? How to optimize its function? Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It measures your unique metabolism, and it's as easy as breathing into the device. After just about a week, it understands your body's metabolism and gives you personalized guidance to improve your nutrition and workouts, to promote fat burn, lose weight, and or just boost your energy naturally. Lumen can even help support sleep and stress management. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits. For women, it can even track your cycle and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/newsworthy to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/newsworthy for 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. Okay, now back to Feel Good Friday. When Alex Davis heard a beep on his metal detector at the bottom of the ocean and dug a little deeper, he ended up uncovering a gold ring lost there nearly half a century ago. But the freediving instructor in Barbados did not keep it for himself. He actually found the owner. When he looked more closely at the ring, he noticed it was a graduation ring from McMaster University in Canada. He found initials engraved on the band, FMP. And so Davis contacted the university and asked for information about anyone with those initials who graduated in 1965, the year on the ring. And that's how he found Frederick Morgan Perigo. After the university put him in contact with Perigo, Davis found out he'd lost the ring in 1975 while vacationing with his wife and 2 sons. Davis sent the ring to him, which arrived the day before Perigo's 83rd birthday and nearly 50 years after he lost it. Perigo told his local newspaper, "It's the most miraculous 83rd birthday present I could ever have." Thank you so much for listening. We will be back tomorrow with our special edition Saturday episode. We're talking about the toll of parenting and the possible reasons behind what the U.S. Surgeon General called earlier this year an epidemic of parental burnout. Then join us again Monday for another Daily News Roundup. For now, thank you so much for listening and have a great weekend.